up, everyone? Camarion. This is a super short visit today. Again, just to say hello in between all the production and the craziness. Nico, how are you, my brother? Grateful Humans in the house. Ariel. Camarion. Intentions. Hope everyone are doing great. Black Siren. Want to say hello. And we will go back to regular programming hopefully soon. What's up, Craig? Good to see you, brother. Ebony. My dear Ebony, how are you doing? Doing really good. Grateful Human. Good to have you with us. Lula V is in the house. What's up, Luke's Iron? Okay, we don't have. I don't have much time today, but I figured I'd pop in and say hi for like 20 minutes. See if we can get into anything. I know. I haven't seen you in a while, Luke's Iron. There's wonderful things in the horizon. Had a great few days of filming, actually a week plus of filming with the incredible Aaron Venden and the crew. And Carter was here with us. It was lovely, wonderful. I'm very excited to share this as we move. Hopefully we're going to have something to present by the end of the year. I think we will. It's going to be fun stuff. We're also going to be shooting some fun things in San Francisco soon. So that's exciting. I'm excited about that. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay. Okay. 11 a.m. Okay, got it. All right, Ebony, I got your message by the way, so I think we'll set that up. Base Trading is saying, what if the code converges with a non-digital property and they both make up reality? Sense duality is ingrained in reality. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What do you mean by non-digital property? What does that mean? Top Power Off, good to see you. Yeah, base trading, if you want to tell me what you mean by non-digital, that would be cool. Property that isn't digital, obviously. Okay, but do you know what you mean by digital? That's what I mean. Like, we throw these words randomly, but do we really know what they mean? Thank you for the clarification, Michael Clack. What's up, Sofa King? Good to see you, Terry. You see us with a third eye? That's wonderful. The movie is moving great. Like the code and some more organic, natural thing comes together at the base of reality. So, okay, I think I see what you're saying. So, if we're talking about the essence of what digital is, I think that really there's no really way around that. At bottom it must be digital. So like even if you look, I think the illusion is that it looks not digital. I think that's the illusion. So if you look closer, the details of really anything, even what you call organic, if you look at the the actual cell level, you will find that it's all little machinery that is operating, and obviously it follows a computational logic, right? So that's clearly computational. Your brain obviously running a computation. And honestly, I don't think you can find any example in nature that doesn't follow some portions of that thread. It has to be some logical operation to it, and that, I think, by default, is, I would define it as digital. And also, if you actually allow yourself, instead of, so I think that what causes things to look not digital is actually our own biases. I think that what people perceive as, the more, like, I drop into the space and I feel it. What you're feeling is your first person experience of it. But if you look at it from, like, for what it really is in a neutral way, you would see that it doesn't have that component. And I think that's the more real thing. It does not mean that it's impersonal. Well, I guess you can say it is impersonal because the person that you are is revealed to not actually be there. And I think to some degree can be, uh, you know, maybe destabilizing realization, but I think ultimately it's a freeing realization. It's really what you discover as a Buddhist. Then, when the deeper you go into the practice, you realize more and more that really all of this is just kind of like operational logic that kind of unfolds. I mean, you can perceive it in different ways, but I think it's kind of like it's doing what it's doing, and the thing that you feel yourself to be is not really there. To me, that's a very liberating realization. Actually, is consciousness computational too? I think that consciousness is the substrate, the material out of which everything is made out of. Computation is the rule set by which consciousness resolves itself and operates on different levels of emergence. So you can say maybe there's like more extravagant computational rules in some other consciousness space, but in my frame, I would say that consciousness is not just fundamental, but it is literally the thing out of which everything is made out of, and then different emerging levels of consciousness operate by different logical rules. And I think maybe universally, or maybe to a large degree in our local multiversal neighborhood, it operates by the computational rules that we're familiar with, which I would call digital. Um, but that's a good question. I mean, that's really the question at the core of Penrose and Hemirov's uh, paper about microtubules. And one of Penrose's reasons for assuming that, aside from the theoretical framework with microtubules, is the fact that consciousness seems to be able to perceive something that there's no way of calculating logically, which means that consciousness somehow is not computational. Again, there needs to be a lot more, facts on the ground kind of testing with this. In fact, in San Francisco, we're going to be shooting with Hemrov, so I'm very excited about that. So that's gonna be fun. Yeah, analytic idealism would be the closest to how I perceive it. Yes. Oh, Kirsten, how are you? Good to see you. See, Aura. Best day into like today. Very grounded day. I was going to go to the beach today, but ChatGPT said, "Stay away from from the ocean." ChatGPT told you not to go to the ocean. Interesting. How come? Wonderful. Glad you could make it. So therefore, sure visit. How's Texas treating you? Wait, right after telling you were in a recursion loop. What does that mean? What does that mean? Oh, Mushroom is saying, looked into Dyson a little more. It's interesting, but it sucks. It's illegal. It is not illegal. I don't know where you heard this. I don't know why people keep saying it. It is not illegal. I don't know where people got that idea. You can get it. I know Museum of Tarot. I never know how to pronounce it. Museum of Tarot something. You'll find it. I think they're selling it. I think it was just on Danny Jones, the guy. What is that? Did you die a bunch? What does that mean, Terry? Can you explain that to me? I don't quite understand. Oh, amazing. Hawaii. Ooh. I love Hawaii. Oh, how? Oh, okay. Apparently, I can't pronounce words today. Oh, ow. It's okay. I've never been. I've only been to the Big Island. Yeah, Hawaii is very special. That's for sure. How long have you been there, and how long are you still gonna be there? Words are hard, especially today. I don't know what's going on to my brain. Oh, Pakistani pilot is in the house. Thank you for the gifts, brother. So good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in a while. I wonder why my brain is doing this weird thing. Do I think simulation is hackable? It's a good question. I think it has to do with the framing. And if you believe that if the computational space it's all that exists, then it's the hackability of it is not really hacking it. It's more just creating more possibilities in it. Because if it's the full system, it's open-ended. Therefore, there's nothing to hack. There's just to create. You're hacking a closed system that is supposed to do something, and you're basically creating a new function within it. You find a new way to do something inside of it that was not supposed to be there. But if the system is open-ended, then nothing wasn't supposed to be there. Everything that happens by default was supposed to be a part of it. So in that sense, the word hacking would just be the wrong word. But yeah, I definitely believe that it always lends itself to being able to create new possibilities within it. Pakistani pilot is saying, been busy with school. All right. What are you studying, by the way? Oh, 2 weeks and doing retreats for the kids. That's incredible. So happy you're doing that. What's up, Jess? Ken is in the house. How are you, brother? Boards 150 other. That's amazing, Ken. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for everything you're doing. And yeah, I also actually just popped in to say hi. So we meet each other at like a split second here because I have to jump off in like 9 minutes. That's perfect. Happy 5-5. Oh yeah, I didn't even realize today's 5-5. Woohoo! Yeah, and join us on Discord, of course. Electrical engineering, that's very important and very impressive. What Ebony said, please join our Discord. If you are on any other channel, please come to Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts, and check out my third link from the top that has the Discord link on it. Please come join us. We have an incredible community that we're doing a lot of fun stuff together. Did you see the paper attempting to debunk simulation theory? I mean, there's a lot of papers like that. Which one are you referring to specifically, Nico? Also, by the way, and I can tell you without even reading the paper, that the only way that I found that people ever argue about it is basically they give all of these reasons as basically what they say is that here's all the things that would have to be true if the simulation theory is correct. And because it's absurd to think that these things would be true, therefore the simulation theory is not true. I don't even have to read the paper now. They might be doing something new, but not very likely. That's essentially what all the papers are doing. They're basically saying, here's all the things that has to be true, because we know it's absurd to assume that, therefore it's not true, and never clarifying and giving any justification as to why these things cannot be true. For example, Dr. Sylvester, what is happening with my brain today? Dr. Sylvester, what's his name? James Gates. He's the guy who everybody always loved to share that came up, discovered the error correcting codes in the core of reality, the Adinkras and all of that. He famously says that there's no way that we're in a simulation, because if we would be in a simulation, the ghosts would have to exist. Now, the interesting part is, of course, he just automatically assumes, because of what science assumes, that there's no ghosts. but he never really investigated that. And again, I don't blame him for that, but it's a perfect example how it's being sneaked in, which is there's just this general assumption about what you think is true, and you know that that thing that you think isn't true points to the fact that there's no simulation without actually you ever studying the thing that you said that cannot possibly be true. Now, I want to see if this paper provides anything new. I'm willing to bet money that it does not. That's how all these arguments basically go. Such as computation cannot be happening in a higher dimension. I don't see any reason why computation would not be able to be happening in any higher dimension, because even if you postulate substrate independence for computation, you can always assume that there might be other rules of computation that you can just describe. But the point isn't that, it has to be computed exactly how we know computation. The point is that it's what we would call digitally rendered. Even though Microsoft has pretty much done that with topological qubits. Yep. Any paper arguing over this would make too many assumptions, as you said. Published 2 weeks ago by a famous astrophysicist. Oh, is this something you shared? Sorry, I was like completely out of the loop recently, just because of the amount of... What's up, Guru? Good to see you. Two, and today's 5-5. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Can you share that paper? Can you text it to me, Nico? Okay, perfect. Wait, your comments are being censored? No, I see your comments. Is there any comments of yours that I didn't see? Earlier, I was watching a short documentary on a guy that called himself the Mahdi. He lives in England, the UK. Interesting. Thank you, Nico. Appreciate you, brother. Oh, you did share it with me before. Sorry, I just didn't have time to actually go through things, but I will definitely go through it today. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't know why, in general, I guess, you know what? No, I'll take it back. I take it back before I even said anything. I was about to say, I find it silly that people try and refute possible investigation directions. There's so many things that arise over the years that we discovered to be eventually true, that we didn't know to be true, that it was even possible to think in that direction. And this is what David Deutsch calls a bad philosophy. It's not a philosophy that is wrong, it's a philosophy that tries to block either ideas or other philosophies. That's a bad philosophy, right? Positivism would be one of those. And this sounds to me along the lines of that, because we haven't, well, I'm saying we're kind of starting to really play with the idea of simulation more seriously, but aside from kind of like what I'm doing, there's not really anything that is outside of the theory, right, about the simulation. So because that's the case, it seems to me that it's silly at best to try and refute something that we didn't even have enough of a robust exploration of in the beginning. It seems to be like a misplaced attempt at energy, but at the same time, we do what we do, and if somebody felt like that was important enough, I guess it's part of the game. scientific arguments are a good learning opportunity. Yes, it's just that I find it surprisingly lacking of innovative thought, usually with these kind of papers. It's like the people that say something will never be possible. Come on. uh, I think if there's anything that is safe to assume at this point is that nobody in their right mind should ever say that something is impossible. I feel like that's just not a good, not a wise thing to do. All right, so I think I actually gonna have to jump off just because today I needed to do this like really quick, saying hello. I appreciate everybody who came. If you want to follow me across platforms, my handles are Danny Goller on Instagram and on TikTok. It's Goller Danny on X. It's LaserX83 on Twitch and Dango Thoughts on YouTube. DANGO Thoughts on YouTube. Come join our membership program that includes Zoom calls with me, weekly lives, aside from the daily lives, in which, for members only, that we dive deeper into things. We haven't done one last week just because I was filming, but definitely one that is coming up. And it also includes early access to all my content and private stuff on my life that will only exist on YouTube Live and YouTube members and nowhere else. So, that being said, I love you guys. Thank you so much for everybody in the community. Thank you so much for joining for this super short one. Love you all. Peace and love. Talk to you hopefully tomorrow. Ciao. Bye, guys.